Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. I would like very quickly to share with you one of my most favorite passages from one of my most favorite books that I don't talk about often enough, Parallel Universes of Self. Also with the beautiful audio of my dog snoring along with us. In this part of the book, we are talking about the wholeness, the oneness of being I am, of being source, universe, higher power, source, energy, moonbeams, whatever you believe it is, but your pure, unadulterated consciousness, and why it may not serve you to keep trying to search for beliefs to fix. To stop searching for what's wrong with you and instead just choose who you want to be and know that you are that. Let me explain. And in this section, we're talking about how consciousness, we could say God, all God, pure unadulterated consciousness is doing, is focusing on, pinpointing on awareness. And I like to think of it as places in awareness. But that also includes you. Pinpointing, focusing, being aware of being. But it's all the same oneness, just focused. Hear me out. And finally, we focus the individual world self and identify with it in order to participate in this world even more intensely, which is us. Experiencing our 3D world. And I'm using air quotes because I hope by now, if you don't already know this, right, the 3D is really not on the outside of you. It's on the inside, as in your consciousnness. Okay? But you're focused in on this version of self in every given moment, which is why we say that all there ever is the eternal moment. So when it comes to whatever it is that you want to manifest, we say, I am or I am not, from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. We could continue doing this, fragmenting ourselves even more. There is no limit to it. We could fragment ourselves into body, soul, mind, which is what we have all been kind of conditioned to do, to break all of this down, right? Down, body, soul, mind. Or we could go even further and fragment the mind, our soul, into subconscious, higher self, lower self. All these fragmentations are, except for research and focus purposes, not necessary and even limiting in many ways. The more you split things up, the more complicated things get, and the further you are going away from the truth of oneness. To at least get a little bit more defragmented, view all parts of you as one, without separation. The mind is not your enemy, as many teach. I love that. The subconscious is not a separate and incomprehensible part of you that controls you. You are not inside your body. Your body is inside you. Once you acknowledge yourself as one, it will be easier to also view the surroundings of your reality as you and other people as you. Reflections. You can re-identify with them without losing your individuality. The myth of losing individuality is one reason the person forgets oneness. Because the whole, all of it, all of consciousness, the whole contains every individual viewpoint. Your individual viewpoint never has to be lost. So in other words, whatever it is you're manifesting, you don't have to sit here any longer and believe that your subconscious mind is holding beliefs against your will and therefore ruining your 3D experience. It's not necessary to manifest. There's a reason why you rarely hear me talk about the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. The only time I ever bring it up is when someone asks me a question specifically talking about how to get rid of a belief, how to do this, how to do that. What about the subconscious mind? Don't we have to reprogram the subconscious mind? Don't we have to rewire it? You, as the wholeness of I am, of source, of the universe, of God, whatever you believe, you as that are the wholeness of all, of one, of the I am, right now, in this moment. You can manifest or choose to experience having to figure out all the beliefs hiding in your subconscious mind. You can give yourself that experience. You can give that to yourself. Why you would want to, I don't know. See, when we talk about the subconscious, holding the beliefs, working, automatically on autopilot, taking care of everything, functioning, with the body and blah, 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 blah. That's fine for conversations. But when it comes to changing your life, if you're still searching for what is wrong with you, I'll tell you what's wrong is where you're focused, where your attention is, where your awareness is. You never stop being source. You never break apart from the whole, but you can narrow your viewpoint as source to experience having to fix thyself over and over and over again, because you're source, because you have the free will to experience reality as your choice. So it's your discretion on how you change things in your world. Now that might sound too good to be true. I've said that before. That might sound like that's just too easy. I can just decide who I am. Yeah. And you've been doing it your whole life. Maybe that exact question, who am I today? Maybe that doesn't pop up into your mind, or hasn't until you've come to this understanding. But if you're watching this video, then you're at that place in your understanding where the knowledge is in front of your face, and it's up to you to do with it as you wish. So again, if you want to keep viewing conscious manifestation as I have to fix or dig out my beliefs in my subconscious mind, I have to rewire, reprogram, then you as source, because that's your focused attention, that's where you're choosing, right? Or what you're pinpointing, what your viewpoint is in awareness, you can have that experience. You can choose to experience anything you desire. I have that type of personality where I prefer things to be a little bit easier, to be a little bit quicker, going on an endless searching journey of what's wrong. Does that sound like fun? Does that sound interesting to you? I get it. Sometimes it just seems too easy to just say I am whoever I say I am. I understand that. But the only reason why that doesn't maybe immediately resonate or seems too easy is based on what? Fear and doubt. All thoughts are based in love or fear. But even fear has its place, right? Because there isn't duality. It's all the one, the wholeness. And hear that word, whole, wholeness. That's you. You're lacking nothing. Now, the logical, literal view might be, okay, but I don't see what I want in front of me, Kim. I don't see my desire in front of me. So there must be something blocking it. Why? Why can't it just be? Because that's where you're choosing to be aware of in awareness. Why can't it be just that? Because if you're seeing reality as what I want isn't here yet, that's you as the wholeness of the oneness making that decision. So that's where your focused viewpoint and awareness is. I am not. Can you imagine if you challenged yourself? Give it a week. Give it the non-existing linear time of a week of just standing in your decision to know yourself as the oneness, the wholeness of Source. Give yourself the week. That every time your mind is saying otherwise, you don't have what you want yet, nothing's changing, nothing's working. If you say, fuck it, I don't care that thought is here today. That thought does not decide for me who I am. I am Source, or I am the version of self, you fill in the blank. And you just stuck with that. Stopped fighting with yourself. Stop trying to fix yourself. And just stood in your own conviction that I am whoever I say I am. You would notice shifts. You would notice things in reality. Because why? Because reality is inside of you. It is you. She just couldn't care less. I challenge you for one linear time week to not only keep your viewpoint, keep your perspective, keep your awareness on knowing that you are the wholeness of Source. And whatever it is that you're manifesting, let me read this. Consider your biggest fear or biggest desire and compare or view it from the perspective of the next more comprehensive domain. Notice how relatively unimportant it now seems. So in other words, the more comprehensive domain, I would say, is the focused awareness of the version of you who already has gotten past the desire or gotten past the fear. And by past, I mean you already have it. That desire is already yours. It's already here. So when you consider yourself to be the self that already has the desire, again, this is nothing new. This is not the first time you've heard that idea in this community. So you're considering the version of yourself that already has the desire. If you are already living the existence of that thing, that desire being a normal part of your daily life, notice how relatively unimportant it now seems. The desire is easier to create, though, when viewed from a perspective beyond it. So notice that wording. That wording isn't you must do it this one way. No, this is an idea. This is a tip for any of you who feel super resistive or that rigidity against what you're manifesting. For those of you who feel very strongly that your reality is not presenting to you your desire, then you give yourself a linear time week of doing your best to remember the truth of who you are, which is the wholeness of the oneness Source, God, higher power, source, energy, moonbeams, whatever you want to call it. You are doing your best to stay in that mindset, to remember this when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling the doubt, when opposing thoughts are coming in. And in the moment, let's have a practice run right now. In this moment, if the opposite is coming to your attention, in other words, you don't have what you want yet. It feels like it's been forever, and I'm afraid it's going to take another forever for it to manifest. Okay, in this moment, we're going to remind ourselves. So in other words, we're going to remember the truth of who we are. We're going to remember that we are whole. We are not split or fragmented from God. There is no separation. So if there's no separation and I'm whole, then I lack nothing. So the version of me who's living comfortably, a normal day in the life of living with that desire, can I think about him or her? Can I see myself as that right now? Allow yourself to think about it. Do you still feel so resistive to the desire while you're imagining already having it? For a split second, I bet the anxiety, the doubt, the fear blipped away, even if it came right back. Notice that. Notice how when you put your focused attention on it being my normal, you feel it. And again, I'm not saying that any of that is required to manifest. It brings you some comfort. It soothes the ego, which is a part of us that we don't have to demonize. Just saying. I challenge you for a week to start doing this and notice the difference in A, how you feel, B, how you view what you're manifesting or maybe your circumstances, and watch as synchronicities show up. And the synchronicities can be anything. And again, normally I would not tell someone to be out there looking for synchronicities and signs. We're not necessarily doing that. I'm just saying this is a way to show yourself that you were never separate from the desire to begin with, and that you were never lacking anything, and that whatever the hell it is that you're manifesting was already yours, simply because you are source. Simply because of that, you're separate from nothing. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. You only can even think about the desire because it was already yours. Creation is finished. God has already created all. And you are that. You are that. All there is. So it was already yours. So stop fighting against it. Stop focusing your awareness, your attention, your focus. I said focus already. On the I am not. On the lack thereof it. Stop sitting, analyzing your lived experience. Stop looking for all the proof that you don't have it yet. See, the proof technically isn't even out there. You're the proof. So this is why this challenge is worth it. So you can show yourself that you've been the proof of I am or I am not. You've been challenged. Oh, and if you're new here, how you doing? You made it to the end of this video. How you doing? I hope you can tell by now I'm Kimberly. And I would love for you and I to be friends. So why don't you hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below that you're my new friend, because YouTube doesn't always tell me. To everyone else, let me know in the comments below how you are going to accept this challenge. 1 week. One absolutely minimal, teeny tiny, really unimportant a week in linear time. So we already know it doesn't exist. Just have fun with this. Let this be light. Let yourself feel whimsical. We don't want to be an unwhimsical bitch. Okay? So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and if you want to work with me in any way, shape, or form, or join one of my amazing channel memberships, all of that in the drop box below.